everybody. Matt Malatesta, VYPE. We're here for the weekly installment of the St. Pius Coaches Show with Greg Cranfill. Coach, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, always a great day after a big win. Talk about y'all knocked off Concordia Lutheran, who was on a roll. You beat them 21-14. Just walk me through, what happened, what you saw that really went right.
Yeah, so we knew going into it, it was going to be a very, I guess, high priority type of game, and the fact that you weren't going to get the ball a bunch because of what both of us did, with both of us running the football. So every possession was going to be very, very valuable. They deferred, they kicked off to us. We drove right down the field and scored. Which was a big statement for our guys that that we weren't here just to play, that we were here to wreck some shop.
Right.
So our kids came out ready to go. Our defense played well. Concordia Lutheran is well coached. They've got a great ball club. Those kids are very disciplined. And it was a battle, back and forth, the whole night through, all the way to, we were up late in the fourth, and we were up, 14-7, and then scored to make it 21-7 with still 5 minutes left to go in the game. And I guarantee you no one went, whew, because we knew what they were capable of doing. And like I said, they drove down the field and scored to make it 21-14, and we recovered the onside kick. And then went into my favorite offensive formation, which is victory, and finished it out, man, to go 1-0 in district. So I was very proud of our kids. I was proud of our coaches, how much time that they had spent into game planning and giving our kids the best possible, opportunities to be successful, and we did just that. I'll tell you, on Wednesday morning, after watching Monday and Tuesday practices, I called the defensive staff in and said, we're making changes immediately, because I wasn't happy with what we saw, and neither were they. And, to make some changes on Wednesday, personnel changes, and those types of things, some would tell you don't do it, it's too late. But, I believe that if you have, Brian used to tell me this, if you've got 24 hours to make a decision, take 23 hours and 59 minutes to think about it and to investigate it, and then make your decision. And Wednesday is pretty late, but it's not 0 hour by any means. So we're going to keep grinding all the way up to the kickoff. And we did that both offensively and defensively. So I was very proud of our guys.
Well, it was obvious your defense, it worked, because your defense, was 21-7. Just talk about the changes you made and who really stepped up on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, we just felt like we got Minton Lewis back healthy, who had been playing tailback for us. But Minton is a very dynamic athlete, and we had put him in some defensive packages. And I'm watching that video on Monday and Tuesday and noticed that there are some very important parts of the game that he would not have been in if we would have continued status quo. And I called our guys in. I said, how are we going to lay our heads on the pillow knowing that some of our better players are standing over there by us? So let's find ways to get them in. And that's what we did. We moved Travis Pesic to an outside linebacker who ended up with 15 tackles on the game. And Minton Lewis started for us on an inside linebacker who had 15 tackles as well. So I would say that the move that we made was very beneficial to the team first. And then it allowed those two guys to do what they do best, which is run around and make plays. So,
talk about what a week is like as it relates to preparation. Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the film work. We do TV games, and you could tell a team that has watched film and really studied the film and broke it down with their coaches. Just what is a week like behind the scenes?
Yeah, so the very quick answer is Saturday morning at about 7:30, we're going to start breaking down our own video. And we spend about 2 hours breaking down Friday night's video. And the reason we do that is for any personnel changes. Is there anybody that we need to add onto the field, or anyone we need to take off of the field because of their grade? Everybody gets a plus or a minus, so we're grading that out. Then we'll meet with the kids for an hour or so. Then it's video. with them, then it's weights for them, and then it goes back, or it goes to immediately breaking down the opponent video on Saturday. And Saturday for us is just a data input. It's formations, it's down, the distance, and just so that we can put as much data into the computer as we want. So once we start running our reports. And then Sunday, I usually allow those guys to watch their video at the house, but then I go back on Sunday into my office, and then it's an alone time for me to go through the kicking game, to go through offense, to go through defense, because all the data is put in there. And then we usually make a phone call at about 5 or 6 to both coordinators on Sunday night, talk about what we're going to do. And then Monday morning, the kids at athletic period, we're installing game plans. As soon as school is out, then we've got defensive meetings, and then we go to practice. Forward to that, coaches meet right after that. Anything that we need to talk about, any adjustments we need to make, and then you do exactly the same thing Tuesday and exactly the same thing Wednesday. And every minute that you have, you're pulling that video back up because you don't want to leave any stone unturned. Last week I probably watched about 25 hours of video. It's just because you watch the entire thing, just to see if there's something that we can pick up. And it's amazing. The more you watch, the smarter you get as a coach, just because of the fact. And then you've got to understand that guys like Willie Amendola, Rich McGuire, all of the guys in our district are smart enough to go, I'm going to give you everything plus a little bit more. So you've got to always expect something that you haven't seen. And the best way to do that is to go back and get as much video as you can. And sure enough, on Friday night, Coach Amendola and his staff had a couple of wrinkles in there that we had not seen. And, our kids had to adjust on the fly. So it's a lot of video, it's a lot of meetings, a lot of practice time. But I would say more evaluation of ourselves first, watching practice video, grading practice video, going, is this where we want to be in this situation, and then go from there.
It's a final exam every week almost, it's like we're crash coursing for a week. So now, being 1-0 in district play, now you've got village. Talk about kind of where you are and getting that first win in a district, in the district is so clutch because it just gives you confidence. Where are your guys at as it relates to confidence-wise and what you're looking for in this next upcoming game against Village?
It's a great point. And the fact that, this having a bye week right before we went to district, God, I can't tell you how beneficial that was. You and I talked before when we were playing Bishop Dunn. I turned around, there were 8 starters standing behind me, dealing with different injuries and those types of things. And we got a majority of those guys back. Minton Lewis being one of those, Jackson Mobley being one of those, Jonah Arazo, all who had tremendous games in that Concordia Lutheran game. So the confidence is high, but we know you're only as good as your next snap. So it's a grind mentality. We came back today, hard hat and lunch pail in hand, and we went to work. I tell them after a game, now's the time to pat yourself on the back, because the next time I see you, it's back to work, and that's the mentality that we have, both as coaching staff and as kids. We want them to enjoy. It's still a game. We want to enjoy those victories, but we also want them to understand that life is about, the ebbs and flows, the highs and lows, and the reality of it is you don't ever want to get too high and you don't ever want to get too low. You just want to stay that constant grind mentality that you're here to work, and when it's time to play, that we'll play. I think you'll see that a lot in the college game, where those coaches are going in there after a victory in the locker rooms, and those locker rooms just explode.
Yeah.
And that emotion is so it's not made up. That emotion of everything that you've invested into that week to week preparation, it comes to fruition, and all of a sudden, bang, then you can sit there and go, gosh darn it, we did it, and celebrate, and then wipe yourself off and go get the next one,
Well, I mean, you said it right, because it's an investment. It's a lot of work during the week that people don't see, and And that's what high school coaches and kids do. And it's like they got a whole other 2 classes on top of the work they're doing right now. So, hey, man, great win last week. Let's go get them this week at Village. And 2-0, looking good on a record possibly, as we kind of get to the end of the season almost.
Sure. I mean, it's just it's what you said. It's always a next game up mentality for us. And it's about focusing on the things that we need to get better on. Those kids come in today, and the first thing I talk about is our extra point and field goal adjustments that we need to make. And I'm sure in their minds they went, Coach, we went 3 for 3 on extra point and field goal. But it's not about that. It's about, seeing life through a microscope is what we're watching on a day-by-day basis, but then being able to step back and looking through it at telescope. Yeah, we got away with it this week, but we're not going to down the road. So it's something that we need to fix right there. And I think those kids expect that. And I think those kids want that. We always say that great players want to be coached, and they want to be told what they can do to be better. And we have a locker room full of those guys, and I'm proud to be their coach.
Well, the Panthers are on the prowl. Let's see how they do this week. This was Matt with VYPE, Coach Greg Cranfill, St. Pius Panthers. Let's see how they can pull it out this week. We'll see y'all at the games.
Go Panthers.